Welcome to practice. I'm Donna Cavanough. We're going to begin standing today, and we're also going to use a chair, which you don't have to use one. So if you know that it helps you step forward and back on the mat when we're doing those long lunges, then grab your chair. Okay, and we're going to begin feet parallel, hip width. So your legs are parallel and your knees look forward. Good. And then we're going to take the arms up softly, palms forward, and bend the knees and sweep the arms up beside you, palms up to the ceiling, and you're bending your torso forward. And then inhale and come up. And keep plenty of room in the shoulders here so you feel nice and relaxed in your shoulders and your arms, bending your knees enough, reaching your torso to where it feels good. And at the top and the bottom of each movement, just getting that nice feeling of, whoa, change of direction, moving the other way. You can add in standing up onto your tiptoes when you lift up. Whoa. Lowering your heels when you bend forward. Again, notice those movements where the movement changes direction. Last one. Just swinging your arms back to your side. And we're going to find the breath now. Hands on your belly, above and below your navel. Shoulders relaxed. Close your eyes. And finding the flow of your breath. And also those moments where the breath changes direction. What does it feel like to search for those moments? To be present there. Nice. And then empty sleeves. We turn the ribs, swing the arms, but keep the the hips facing forward. And be as relaxed as you can in your shoulder joint. And your neck is balanced in a relaxed way at the top of the spine. And you can feel the front of your hips lifting so that power in your legs is supporting a healthy shape for your spine. And again, you can find the flow of your breath. And those moments where the breath changes direction. And back to center. Now, you're going to lift both arms from your shoulders. I can only lift my right arm today. And we're going to make little circles. So we're going to keep the thumb reaching to the back part of that movement. Good. So between your shoulder blades, you'll feel the skin and muscle activating. And relax your neck. Still lifting powerfully in the front of your leg. So you're doing both arms. Good. And then releasing. Nice. We're going to take the head very gently around its whole circle of movement. So it doesn't have to be a really big movement if if you're vulnerable in your neck. But try to keep I'm moving my whole body, try to keep your whole body still. So your shoulders still and just moving the neck so you can look up, ear to the shoulder, chin to the chest, and then the other direction. There might be some crunching going on in there. Try to keep the neck nice and long. We're aiming for smooth movement. Back to center. Good. Shoulders up to the ears and shoulder blades down. Good. We're going to take the diaphragm now out to the front, to the side, to the back. So we're making a big circle with the diaphragm. The hips are staying still, and we're moving the rib cage around the pelvis. Good. And then the other direction. And even here, you're still able to find those moments where the breath changes direction. More difficult to find them because the focus is doing the movement. Back to center. Good. And then we'll do the same thing, and we're going to do the tailbone, the very base of the spine, even the sacrum and the lower core. Or you could think about your hips moving, but it's quite nice to think of the center as you make your circle. And notice the movement that happens in your lower back. So you keep your upper back fairly stationary. And then the other direction. And again, even though you're focusing on the movement, can you also find the breath? Those moments where the breath changes direction. Nice work. And releasing. Good. So now for the chair, and you don't have to use the chair if you're comfortable putting your hands on the floor when you bend forward. The chair makes working on your alignment more accessible. Also, I have a pain in my shoulder, so I need to work nice and slow and make sure I'm not exacerbating that. So a chair is really useful. We're going to stand facing the seat of the chair. Make sure all 4 feet are on your sticky mat so the chair doesn't slide off when you put your weight on it. Standing in your Tadasana again, front of the legs lift, feet are hip width and parallel, so your feet look forward, your knees look forward. Beautiful. Let's take the arms up, nice soft shoulders looking up. Good, and then we're going to come into a forward bend and put your hands on the chair so your wrists are underneath your shoulders. Make a back bend shape and look up, and then make a back arch shape and chin to the chest, like we would for the cat stretch. And if you're just not getting enough stretch in the back of your legs, you could put your elbows on the chair instead to do this. Beautiful. Bend your knees. Let's roll up and take the arms up. I'm taking my arms out to the front. It's the easier movement for my shoulder. So you can take your arms just how it feels good for you. Tadasana. Okay, arms up. Urdhva Hastasana, look up. Good. Come back into your supported Uttanasana, hands on the seat of the chair. We're going to step the left foot back and we're going to bend both knees. So as though you were going to kneel down on the floor with your left knee. And we're going to lift the chest as we do that. And you bring your knee as close to the floor as your body can without putting the knee on the floor. So the back toes are getting a nice stretch. Good. And you're lifting the breastbone. And finding the breath. Good. And then releasing that one. And we're going to step forward and step back with the right foot. And then you lower your right knee towards but not onto the floor. Lift the breastbone so the back toes are curled under, getting a nice stretch. Good. And then we'll release that one. We're going to step forward. Good. And then you're going to lower your head towards the seat of the chair just as far as your forward bend takes you, so you can keep your hands there on the seat of the chair. You can lower it to your elbows, or you can rest your head on your hands. Finding the flow of your breath. Feel the shape of your back. And does it feel like you've got movement to arch your spine down still and arch your spine up? And if you don't have that movement, bend your knees until you can find your spine moving. And they're just going to be little subtle movements here, but the spine making a back bend shape and then an arch shape. Make the back bend shape and then try to straighten your legs. Keep the back of the neck relaxed. Good. And then we're going to lift up and take your arms up. Urdhva Hastasana. And then Tadasana. All right, stand close into the front of the chair. We're going to balance on the left foot and we're going to bring the right foot up onto the seat of the chair. Great. You're going to hold your knee with your left hand and right hand onto your sacrum and lifting tall the spine. Shoulders feeling spacious and relaxed. And we're going to turn the ribs so you're looking back over your right shoulder. Great. Now you've got your right foot on the seat of the chair. Imagine that you could lift it off. So you find your balance in your left foot, and maybe you can just be ever so lightly the skin of your right foot on the seat of the chair. See how you go. If you can lift your knee high and your foot clear of the chair, then do that. Foot back to the chair, turning back to the front. Good. And then Tadasana. And left foot up onto the seat of the chair. If you're finding it difficult to lift your foot up onto the chair, you could put it next to a wall and then you can hold onto the wall as well. All right, right hand, left knee, left hand on the sacrum, lifting and lengthening the spine, relaxing your shoulders and turning your ribs. So you can look back past your left shoulder. Finding the flow of your breath. Feeling your balance in your right foot. You can't see it, but you can feel it. Good. Lift the left foot just more lightly on the seat of the chair. So you're just feeling the skin contacting. And if you can lift that leg up higher, do so. Holding your balance. Good. Put the foot back down onto the chair. And then Tadasana. Okay, so you've probably figured out you need to consider each movement so that you're not running into the chair. Facing the chair, arms up, Urdhva Hastasana, Uttanasana, supported by the chair, or you can have your hands on the floor if you're not using the chair. Good. We're going to step back with the left leg, and this time all the way to the back of the mat with the foot, so that you're getting a longer lunge. You can even scoot your front foot forward if you need more room. And we're going to bend the front knee deeply. Press the back heel. And make your back bend shape. So the spine is moving forward, the breastbone is lifting, you're looking up. Great. And you can stay here with hands supporting, or you can lift your arms up by your ears, Virabhadrasana 1. Bringing the hips a little further forward. Good, and then hands to the seat of the chair. We're going to step the right foot back. So you're in a modified downward facing dog pose. If you're using the chair, it's modified. Just going to drop my shoulder. Nice long straight line through the armpits. Good. And then we're going to step the left foot forward and bend your left knee and straighten your back leg. And make the back bend shape. So arch the spine forward, lift the breastbone. Beautiful. Now you can stay here, hands on the chair, or you can lift your torso, arms up by the ears. Virabhadrasana 1. Good. And then we'll release, and we're going to step forward into Tadasana. Take your arms up, Urdhva Hastasana, and come into Uttanasana, standing forward bend. Now, that can be supported straight arms on your elbows or head towards the back of the chair, resting on your hands. And check it out again. Do you feel like you've got some movement left to arch the spine down? And if you haven't, bend your knees. But see if you can arch the spine down. Finding the flow of your breath. Good. And then we're going to lift up and arms up. And then Tadasana. Nice. Turn so that your left side is facing the seat of the chair. And we're going to put the left foot up onto the chair. So you need to be balanced. Be near a wall if you need to. Otherwise, really consider your right leg. That's what's going to be holding you up. And we'll put the left foot up to the side. And we try to turn the hips so that they are parallel to the long edge of your mat. Good. Take your right arm behind you. Reach behind you and try to reach over to your left hip. And some people will be able to take hold of the thigh there, or just grab hold of your clothing near your left hip. Left hand on the left knee and turn your ribs to the right side. Relax your shoulders. Feel the movement of the breath in your lungs and your ribs. And with the breath, turning the ribs. Beautiful. Release your arms. So think about it. You want to take your foot off the chair. So you've got to lift it so that it's shy of the chair and then place it back down on the floor. Keeping your center of gravity. Nice. And then turn around to the second side. So the right side is facing the front edge of the chair, and right foot up onto the chair. The only problem with using the chair is that we tend to then give our weight to it. So really try and stand into your left leg and imagine it's just there for moral support. It's as if you could keep that leg lifting using your own strength. Good. Let's take the right hand onto the knee. And we're going to take the left arm, rotate the shoulder forward, take it behind your body, reach as far as you can, and take hold of your clothing on the right side. The hips and the torso want to turn towards the chair, but turn the left hip back, turn the ribs. So now the hips are parallel to the long edge of the mat, and we're going to find the breath and let the ribs turn. Good. And then you're going to release your arms so you can really find your weight in your left foot. And you need to lift that right foot so it's shy of the chair and then place it back down. Very good. All right. A supported downward facing dog pose, or if you're not using your chair, hands on the floor for your downward facing dog pose. So the heels walk back until you can find your long line. So you've got both hands on the chair, unless like me, you have a shoulder injury. Lift the kneecaps, lift the sit bones, lift the back of the legs. And breathing deeply. Good. And then we're going to walk the legs in and rolling up and arms up and Tadasana. Urdhva Hastasana and Uttanasana. And you can take your head as close to the seat of the chair as feels good for your back. Good. And then we'll lift up onto straight arms. Step your left foot back into a nice long lunge. Excuse me. Let's keep the legs straight here. So we've got the feet hip width and parallel. Legs are straight. And you're on straight arms with hands on the chair or the floor. But you want to still find that you've got that feeling of being able to arch your spine up, which is probably the easy feeling. But also the harder one is to arch the spine forward. That's going to put more stretch in the front leg. Bend your front leg so you can arch your spine even further forward. Maybe you can even rest your forehead on the seat of the chair. Maybe not. So we've got the spine arching forward. Now try to straighten your front leg without losing that feeling of movement in your spine. Beautiful. All right, we're going to step forward and we're going to be balanced on the right foot. You've got the chair there to help you partially with that movement, but then you want to be standing on your right foot and see if you can lift your leg up. And you don't have to use the chair. You can put your foot on the chair if you need to, or you can keep the foot lifting high so that we're standing on the right foot. Good. Take hold of your knee. And like we did before, left hand on the sacrum, we're going to turn to the left. You're either using the chair to assist or not. Relaxing shoulders, turning the ribs. Beautiful. And then think about how you're going to navigate your left foot to the floor. Staying balanced. Tadasana. Nice work. Urdhva Hastasana. And then Uttanasana, hands where they reach to. Good. Head where it reaches to. See if you can arch your spine down. Good. Lift up onto your straight arms. Step your right foot back. Straight legs. Find where you can reach your head to. So keep reaching it towards the back of the chair. And you may even be able to reach your arms forward or rest your forehead to the seat of the chair. Okay, and then how's the spine going? Probably feels like you can arch it up to the ceiling, but what about down to the floor? Bend the front leg. See how that frees the movement of your spine. Okay, so once you've got your spine, your head in a comfortable position, then try to straighten your front leg without losing the ease for the spine. Find your breath. Oh, good. Release. We're going to step forward, lift up, and be balanced on the left leg. And then you're going to try and bring your right foot all the way up above the chair, using the chair if you need to, or lifting the foot higher. Left hand, right knee, right hand, sacrum. Turning your ribs to the right, looking back over your right shoulder. Whoa. Balanced. Good. And then we're going to look back to the front and think about how you're going to navigate taking that foot down and finding your hip width parallel. Very good. Take your arms up, Urdhva Hastasana, and then Uttanasana, where it feels good for your back. So make sure you've got the bones of the spine arching forward and rest your head if it rests, or keep the back of the neck long. Excuse me for 1 second while I have a drink of water. Finding the breath. The ease in your spine and the stretch in your legs. Lift the kneecaps and the sit bones. Great. And then you're going to release. And come on, bring your arms up, Urdhva Hastasana and Tadasana. Urdhva Hastasana. Uttanasana. Reach your head as far as it goes. Keeping ease for your spine. Good. Up onto straight arms. We'll take the left foot back again. And the right foot is forward. We've got straight legs. Put your left hand in the center of your chair and your right hand on your sacrum. And we've got the back heel pressing down onto the floor. Your feet need to be wide enough apart that you feel balanced. So feel your feet and your strong legs. Lift your kneecaps. Good. And then we're going to turn the torso to the right side. So for Parivrtta Trikonasana. So if you're not using the chair, your hand is on the floor on the inside of your right foot. Pressing the back heel, turning the ribs. Good. And if you've got your right shoulder stacked up over your left shoulder, you can try taking your right arm up to the ceiling and looking up. Beautiful. Hands back to the seat of the chair. Let's step, place them shoulder width. Step the right foot back for your downward facing dog pose. Ooh. Good, and then we're going to step the left foot forward. So we want that distance side to side of the feet so that you feel balanced. Take the weight into both of your legs, both of your feet, lift the kneecaps. Good, right hand goes into the center of the front of the chair, left hand onto the sacrum. Keep your back heel, your right heel pressing down. If you can't get it to the floor, step your back foot in a little bit. So really press it down. Strong, strong legs as you turn your torso to the left side. And imagine that you were a little bit lighter. Your hand isn't really pressing down into the chair. Turning the left ribs back, looking back over your left shoulder. Whoa, finding the breath. And if you've reached your left ribs back enough and your left shoulder and it feels okay to take your left arm up, then take that up and look up. Good, release your arm and your torso back to look to the front. Hands back either side of the chair, stepping forward, find your Uttanasana, head where it reaches to. Finding the flow of your breath. And then bending your knees and inhale and coming up. Urdhva Hastasana and Tadasana. Great. Keep the chair where it is. We're going to use it to help us with our squatting. Take your blanket, and that's going to go underneath the heels. You need to be back a little from the chair. So what's going to happen, you can lean forward and hold on to it, and you can help yourself to come into your squat. That might be just a little movement for your knees. It might be a big movement for your sit bones and near your heels. So finding your version of the squat. But having your arms out in front is going to help you stay balanced so you don't roll back. All right, and we're going to press the heels down onto the blanket and try to lift the torso as tall and straight as you can. Good, and if you really have your balance, you can take your hands into Malasana where the upper arms are on the inside of your knees and the knees can go a little wider. Press the palms in Namaste, lifting the breastbone. Good. Reach the hands forward so you've got your chair, or you can just have your counterweight with hands forward. And we're just going to try and lift up onto the tip toes. Good, giving the feet a stretch. And then heels back to the support. Some people don't need a blanket, I know, to get their heels on the floor. Try another one of those. Lift up onto your tiptoes. Or the balls of the feet, I should say. We're not on point. Bring the spine forward. Good, and pressing the heels. Great. And then we're going to try and stand up from here. So really press into your heels, powerful legs, and lifting up. Great. Leave the chair where it is. Bring your blanket a little closer, sort of your arm length away from the chair. We're going to take a seat onto the blanket. Help yourself down so you don't roll back and hit your head on the chair. Let's sit with the legs straight out in front. And here, the nice thing is I'm not quite close, and I'm not quite close enough for the way my shoulder feels today. So I'm going to get closer is less of a stretch. Further away is more of a stretch. And I'm just going to hold my hands at the bottom of the legs of the chair. So you might have your blanket further from the chair, and you might be able to hold your arms higher on the legs of the chair. So we find where the chair is useful to give us a really good stretch. Press out through the soles of the feet. This is a version of Dandasana. You're on your sit bones. We're trying to lift the spine and finding the flow of the breath. Neck relaxed, shoulders relaxed. Good. And then releasing. Nice work. Now, you don't need the chair anymore, so I'm going to take that off the mat. We're going to lie down, and that blanket will be useful underneath the hips. With the feet hip width and parallel, the legs bend. We're going to relax the lower back now. A little stretch for the front of the legs. Bring your feet off the floor. Cross your ankles. And the trick is to put your feet back on the floor as close to the blanket or as close to under your sit bones as you can. And some people's arms are long enough to hold their toes to help. Doesn't matter if you don't reach, but just get your feet as close as you can to your sit bones. And then you try and lower your knees to the floor. If that's way too strong and the stretch is just screaming in your thighs, then take the blanket out. The other side of that would be if it's not enough of a stretch, a higher blanket or just double it over. And then we relax the upper body again. So we did lots of work today that is strengthening for the quadricep muscles, those muscles in front of your thigh. This is a very nice way of lengthening those tired muscle fibers. Giving in to the posture. Good, and then we're going to gently bring the legs up, change the cross of your ankle, bring your feet close to your sit bones. And then releasing. I really like that pose. You're going to take the blanket out from underneath your hip. Inside edges of the feet together and knees together. And your arms can be out from your shoulders. Lift your hips, swing them to the right, and knees go left. Mm. And we're going to just let the body relax here. So we'll take a passive posture. So any tension left in the lower back, sides of the waist, the hips, can stretch, relax, whatever's necessary and nourishing. Mm. Good. And bring in your core. So press the tummy to the spine, lift the pelvic floor as you lift your legs. And then you're using lots of muscle to lift the legs instead of relying on just those little muscles of the spine. Lift your hips and swing them left, and knees go right. And again, we're just going to give in to the letting go. Mm. Finding your core, so you bring your legs back to center with lots of support, and then hugging your knees into your chest. Oh, rocking a little from side to side. Beautiful. If you could stay in your own Shavasana, that would be lovely. If, like me, you have to finish your practice, we're going to roll to the right side and let's come up to sitting. Mm. Hands in front of your heart. Take the feeling of the practice with you. Namaste.